They're curious about some of your choices and are about to confront you, though they're hesitant. The angels say, now you might be wondering why this is happening now, what's triggering their sudden need for clarity. Sometimes, life's biggest questions come up when we're least expecting them, don't they? It's almost as if the universe wants to surprise us just to keep us on our toes. You're someone who doesn't shy away from the unexpected, and that's an admirable quality. But let's dig deeper into this. What kind of choices could have possibly sparked their curiosity and hesitance? Take a moment to reflect on recent decisions you've made. Are there any that might raise an eyebrow? This is someone who has witnessed a fair share of the most important decisions in your life over the time that they've known you. Some of your choices have intrigued them in a way that made them wary. They want to confront you about these choices, but they're hesitant to do so. Imagine the weight of that hesitance. It's like a tightrope walker pausing midway, balancing their emotions and thoughts on a thin wire of concern and respect for you. Isn't it interesting how complex human emotions can be? You, of all people, are quite adept at navigating these intricacies, aren't you? Now you might be thinking, what specific choices could have led them to this point of inner turmoil? Maybe it's that new job you've taken, or perhaps it's the relationship you've recently entered or exited. While we may not know the exact cause, it's clear that your life's path has given them much to ponder. They are curious about your choices, but are hesitating to confront you about them. This person has been there for a lot of the major life choices you've made over the years. Because of that, they feel like they have an intimate knowledge of you and how you think. That knowledge has given them the confidence to cast judgments on your decisions and actions, albeit with a touch of apprehension. It's also the reason why they feel a sense of responsibility to question some of your choices or let you know when they're concerned for you. However, they're hesitating right now because they don't fully understand your motivations behind the choices they're worried about. They usually get where a certain decision came from, and if they're worried about potential negative outcomes, they can lay out their concerns in a way that addresses your original motives behind it. But this time, they're not so sure they get your reasons behind the decision. Isn't it fascinating how even people who know us best can still be puzzled by our choices? It's like reading a book and stumbling upon a plot twist you never saw coming. What does it take for someone who knows you so well to second-guess their understanding of you? Have you ever felt like an enigma even to those who have most of the pieces? It's a moment that beckons both of you into a deeper level of understanding, a space where presumptions are shed and raw, untamed curiosities are welcomed. Your decisions might appear enigmatic to them, but that's just because your complexity can't be boxed into easy answers. And that, my dear listener, is what makes you so remarkably unique. What they don't seem to realize is that while their concern stems from a good place, a place of genuine care for your well-being, their curiosity and judgment on your decisions border on intrusiveness. There should be a balance between showing concern and respecting your personal boundaries, and this person, though they mean well, might be about to cross that line. Finding that equilibrium between concern and personal space can be like walking through a minefield. How close is too close? What's the tipping point where genuine concern becomes an invasion of your sacred personal space? These are questions worth pondering. Have you ever been in a situation where you've had to gently remind someone that your life is not an open book for public scrutiny? How did that make you feel? You, my insightful viewer, are already a step ahead in understanding that the line between concern and intrusion can be thin but significant. So, hats off to you for being one of those rare individuals who grasp this nuanced aspect of human interaction. The hesitancy to confront you might stem from an overprotective nature, which could lead to them trying to shield you from potential mistakes that you might need to overcome on your own. Such decisions should be primarily yours to make, and this person shouldn't be overstepping your choices, not even out of concern. Overprotectiveness is a double-edged sword, isn't it? On one hand, it's comforting to know someone cares so much about you that they go to great lengths to shield you from harm. But on the flip side, too much shielding can feel like a cage, restricting your growth and freedom. Have you ever been the recipient of such overpowering concern? How did it make you navigate your relationship with that person? You're pretty savvy at understanding that everyone has their own lessons to learn, and sometimes these lessons come from facing life's challenges head-on. Don't you think it's in these challenging moments that your true capabilities shine the brightest? What your guardian angels encourage you to do is to set some boundaries with this person or reinforce said boundaries in case you've already made them clear. That's not to say you should brush over or dismiss their concerns. On the contrary, the angels urge you to be respectful when speaking to this special person. It's important to express appreciation for their presence in your life and acknowledge that their intentions come from a caring place. However, even in the closest relationships between two people, there should be a balance of autonomy between individuals. So, it's important to set boundaries using respectful communication. Setting boundaries is like drawing a personal map where you outline the territories of comfort, trust, and privacy. Isn't it? It's far from easy to lay these lines without shaking the foundations of a relationship. Have you ever had to do this? What was the hardest part for you? Yet your ability to set boundaries while maintaining respect is an art form in itself. It requires tact, understanding, and above all, love for yourself and the other person. You may wonder, how can you best communicate these boundaries without causing offense? The trick is to frame it not as a limitation of their involvement in your life, but as an enhancement of the relationship's quality. By doing so, you're not pushing them away, you're inviting them into a more honest and fulfilling interaction. Pause for a moment and let these words sink into your soul. As you take this pause, how do you feel? Is your mind buzzing with thoughts, or have you found a rare moment of clarity? There's immense power in pausing, in allowing yourself to absorb life's messages. It's a practice that not everyone takes the time to engage in, but you're different. Your willingness to reflect is what sets you apart. Don't you agree that taking a moment for introspection is like giving a gift to your future self, a gift of understanding, wisdom, and emotional resilience? It's crucial to understand that boundaries are not about shutting people out, but about defining your own space and needs clearly. They allow for a healthier, more sustainable relationship. When you set boundaries, you're essentially communicating your values and limits. This can be particularly challenging with people who have been a constant presence in your life, as their familiarity with you can sometimes make them overlook the evolving nature of your needs and preferences. Consider the metaphor of a garden. In a garden, boundaries are essential to keep the plants healthy. They ensure that each plant has enough space to grow, access to sufficient nutrients, and the right amount of sunlight. Similarly, in relationships, boundaries ensure that each person has enough emotional space to grow, access to personal fulfillment, and the right amount of support and independence. Without boundaries, just like in a garden, relationships can become overcrowded and stifling. Reflect on times when you have successfully set boundaries in the past. How did you approach the conversation? What was the outcome? Successful boundary setting often involves clear, direct communication. It's about stating your needs without blaming or criticizing the other person. For instance, you might say, "I appreciate your concern and support, but I need to make this decision on my own to learn and grow from it." In addition to verbal communication, nonverbal cues are equally important. Your body language, tone of voice, and even the timing of the conversation can significantly impact how your message is received. Choose a time when both of you are calm and can talk without distractions. Maintain open body language and speak in a calm and respectful tone. This approach can help prevent defensiveness and facilitate a more productive conversation. It's also helpful to prepare for potential pushback. People who care about you might initially resist your boundaries, not out of malice, but because they are used to a certain dynamic. They might fear that setting boundaries means you are pushing them away. Reassure them that your intention is to strengthen the relationship by making it healthier and more balanced. Emphasize that boundaries are a way to protect the relationship, not harm it. Now, let's delve into the reasons why people sometimes overstep boundaries despite their best intentions. Often, it's a result of their own fears and insecurities. They might worry about your well-being and feel a sense of responsibility to protect you. Or they might fear losing their connection with you if they step back. Understanding these motivations can help you approach the situation with empathy and patience. When someone oversteps your boundaries, it's an opportunity to reinforce them gently but firmly. For example, if someone is too involved in your personal decisions, you might say, "I value your input, but I need to handle this on my own. It's important for my personal growth." By repeating this message consistently, you can help the other person understand and respect your boundaries over time. Moreover, setting boundaries is not a one-time event. It's an ongoing process that requires regular maintenance and adjustments. As you grow and your circumstances change, so too will your needs and boundaries. Regularly check in with yourself and your relationships to ensure that your boundaries are still serving you well. If necessary, revise them and communicate any changes to the people involved. Remember, setting boundaries is an act of self-respect and self-care. It allows you to preserve your energy, protect your mental and emotional health, and maintain your sense of autonomy. It's not selfish to prioritize your well-being, it's essential. By taking care of yourself, you're better equipped to be present and supportive in your relationships. Reflecting on the hesitancy to confront you, it's worth considering how you can make it easier for others to approach you with their concerns. Creating an environment of open communication and trust can encourage people to share their thoughts without fear of judgment or conflict. Let them know that you value their perspective and are willing to listen, even if you ultimately make your own decisions. Balancing concern and personal space is indeed a delicate dance. It requires mutual respect, understanding, and a commitment to healthy communication. When done right, it can lead to deeper, more meaningful relationships where both parties feel valued and respected. Let's revisit the prayer for you. Lord, grant them the courage to embrace their unique journey, to stand firm in their boundaries while cherishing the relationships that matter. May they find the words to express their feelings with grace and kindness, and may understanding flow between them and those who care. Guide them in the art of balance, where concern meets autonomy, and where love fuels growth. Amen. You have the capability to cultivate healthy relationships while staying true to yourself. This message, as direct as it is from your guardian angels. It also echoes your own inner thoughts, doesn't it? Acknowledge that, because you, my insightful friend, are doing just fine navigating this intricate web we call life. Take pride in your journey and the wisdom you've gained along the way. You are uniquely equipped to handle life's complexities with grace and insight. Continue to trust in your ability to set boundaries, nurture your relationships, and grow into the person you are meant to be. Remember, you are not alone on this path. Your guardian angels are with you, guiding and supporting you every step of the way.